Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Agatha Christie's ABC Murders, where we continue playing. I am actually low. I hope that is fine. But hello, welcome. We continue our journey with Hercule Poirot. And our objective is talk to Donald Fraser.
This bottle is for our visitors. Personally, I prefer the sherry.
Emil Butstorm. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, how are you doing?
This man is tired.
Quite tired. Unshaven. Hello and welcome. Clumped clothes. Dark circles. He hasn't slept.
Donald is short of sleep, and it looks as if he didn't even bother to undress before going to bed.
Let's talk to Donald.
Mr. Poirot, I don't know why I'm here.
Reassure him about the fact that he will be listened to.
You wanted to talk, and you came to find the only man capable of hearing you.
Mr. Poirot, since Betty's death, I've doubts about myself. I don't know what to do. And I keep having a horrible dream 3 nights in a row.
Become impatient. No, encourage him to continue. Point out that it is not a psychoanalyst's office. Ooh. Either encourage him to continue or point out that it's not a psychoanalyst's office. Encourage him to continue.
Have a drink, and tell me about this trip.
It's always the same. I'm on the beach with Betty. I grab her round the throat, and I squeeze, and squeeze until she's dead. Her head falls back, and I see that it's no longer Betty. It's Megan's face.
Have you seen Megan Barnard recently?
Yes, our grief has brought us together. I never really knew her before. She's really quite a remarkable girl. But I would never tell her about my dream.
Why not? Is it her you are attacking in your dream?
No, it's Betty. And once Betty is dead, it's Megan's face that appears in its place.
Very interesting. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
My analysis is that he Betty to get Megan. Maybe. Or he's dreaming that because Betty is dead, Megan takes her place. How should the dream be interpreted? I'm sorry, my English is bad. Donald is tired. Donald feels guilty about killing Betty. Kind of. No. Donald is trying to have feelings for Megan and he feels guilty about abandoning Betty.
Mr. Fraser, I think that the real meaning of this dream is that you are in love with Megan Barnard.
Please go on. Do.
This dream certainly betrays your guilt.
Oh.
But what do you feel guilty about? Having killed your fiancé? Possible. Or forgetting her very quickly for her sister? Certainly. And this forgetting is perceived as a second death.
So you don't really think I was the one who killed Betty?
I do not exclude this theory. I am simply saying that I do not need to know that fact to explain your dream and your guilt.
Thank you for being frank, Mr. Poirot. You've helped me a great deal. I'm going back to Bexhill. I'll not take any more of your time up.
It is late, Mr. Fraser, and you are tired.
I'll sleep on the train. I like trains. It's easy to sleep rocked by the sound of the wheels.
Poor boy, he seems completely lost.
Well, women seem to like him. I think Megan will take care of him. Oh, I remember. Did you order the product I needed?
Yes, we'll be receiving it tomorrow.
Bien, it is late, and I asked Miss Gray to come tomorrow morning. I have a few questions I wish to ask her. Mademoiselle, I asked you here in order to answer a very important question.
Remind her that she did not see anybody on the day of the murder. Accuse her of having lied. Accuse her of being the killer's accomplice. Remind her.
Am I right in thinking you said that you did not speak to anyone on the day Sir Carmichael was murdered?
It's the absolute truth.
Yet, Lady Clark maintained that she saw you talking to a stranger on the front doorstep.
Really? She must have been mistaken. Oh, I remember now. I'd forgotten all about it, but it wasn't important. It was just a salesman. One of those traders who sell stockings from door to door.
Can you describe him to me?
Medium size, glasses, dark suit, and a felt hat. Not the sort of man you notice. Completely harmless. That's why I forgot all about him.
Nothing else?
He was very hesitant and shy. Usually door-to-door salesmen are very confident, but he wasn't.
Stockings, you say? Indicate that she lied about leaving Thurston. Ask whether she resigned of her own free will. Point out that her departure is suspicious.
You did not leave Churston willingly, I believe.
I don't wish to lie. Lady Clark did not appreciate my presence. And Franklin could not go against the wishes of a sick lady. He is a good man, and he worries a great deal about his sister-in-law.
I noticed that you left some personal belongings behind at Churston.
That the object presented a risk.
It was too risky for you to keep these objects, am I correct?
Risky? What was the risk?
Aha, she didn't think that. Would have accused her of theft.
You know very well what Lady Clark might have said if you had kept these objects.
Indeed. These objects were gifts. But Lady Clark would have been convinced that I'd stolen them. By returning them, I put an end to such evil gossip.
Bien. I must ask you one last question. Please reply frankly with either yes or no. If Lady Clark had died, would you have agreed to marry Sir Carmichael if he'd asked you?
How dare you ask such a question? Sir Carmichael treated me just like his daughter. And all that I ever felt him was affection and gratitude, nothing else.
Thank you, mademoiselle. I will not keep you any longer.
I met Thora Grey on the stairs. Her cheeks were ablaze, and she appeared to be deeply hurt. Poirot, have you offended the poor girl again? Do you have good reasons for accusing her?
I accuse her of nothing, Hastings. I simply asked her an important question she did not answer. Let us see if we can answer it for her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Brain cells to work. Would Thora have married Sir Carmichael if he had lived? I was close to Thora Grey. He had offered Thora approach. Thora says about her. Thora is a seductress. Found Thora charming. No. Thora Grey stayed behind to settle affairs. Seductress. Would Thora have married Sir Carmichael if he had lived? No. Thora is a seductress. Michael, okay. Thora Grey stayed behind to settle Sir Carmichael's affairs. Sir Carmichael Clark was close to... Wait a minute. Declaration by Thora Grey. close to the clay. Nope. It has to be these. No. No. From the beginning. Then no, olisi selectors. There.
You must know how to read between the lines, Hastings. When Sir Carmichael refers to paternal affection, he's lying to himself. Read this engraving on the brooch. A dark dragon for an angel with glossy hair. These are the words of a lover, not a father. Lady Clark was not wrong.
What if Sir Carmichael had fallen in love with his secretary? That doesn't mean that she forced him to do so.
True, there are extenuating circumstances. She is a penniless orphan. But she's calculating. Just look how she avoided it when asked if she would have married Clark.
I see. You think she seduced Sir Carmichael for her own gain, and that now she is doing the same with his brother. Poirot, your world is a very dark place.
Do not get carried away, mon ami. We have another more important matter to settle.
Really?
Yes, would you believe that Miss Grey taught me something new? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Hopefully not as much trouble. Okay, I don't know why. First, puzzle and my head empty. Okay, is there another common point between the murders? mother's tokens. Before each murder, the victim or someone close to them were in a situation where they could buy tokens.
It's perfectly clear, Hastings, perfectly clear. Indeed, a stocking seller visited Andover, Bexhill and Churston on the day of each murder. We have our suspect. This should be of interest, Job.
Telephone chap. Oh, but first. Miller, I almost forgot.
It is now the right time.
What do you mean? There's always time for mustache. Hey, eco points. Yes. Perfect.
Royal Mathematical and Statistical Society's Bulletin, September the 9th, 1935. The Alphabet Murder, a methodical madman. It's highly probable that the alphabet murderer will kill again. Could we possibly estimate the number of victims in his next crime? Yes, and it is easy. As soon as we know the ratio of towns, cities and villages whose names begin with a D and the ratio of English people whose names are spelled the same. On the one hand, the ratio of towns, cities and villages in England with a name starting with D, and on the other hand, the ratio of English people with a name also starting with D. After this initial calculation, it is easy to deduce the likelihood of actually being murdered if you belong to the target population. Go to the last page to find our results and details on the calculations. Daily Blag, August 31, 1935. Moustache at half-mast. Poirot's repeated failure in ABC case. Sometimes small things trouble great men. Hastings, faithful collaborator of the Belgian detective, knows something about it. 3 mornings in a row, he confided to us, the cook broke the egg yolks when preparing Poirot's breakfast. This apparently casual event has greatly disturbed my friend, to the point it breaks his concentration and slows his judgment. I also noticed his mustache, of which he is so proud, being duller than usual.
Poirot, I assure you I haven't said any such thing to the journalists. They twist everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't said anything about my mustache, have you?
Ah, some cool hair. Chief Inspector, we are looking for a stocking salesman.
I see you have a suspect.
Yes. Contact all the stocking wholesalers who may employ him.
Your suspect is a salesman?
No, he does not take orders. He sells door to door.
Right. The hunt is on.
Are you leaving, Mr. Cust?
Yes, I'm going to Cheltenham.
You shouldn't travel today. You don't look very well.
I have to. I have engagements. I must respect them.
Can you get the post, Hastings?
And why don't you go and get it yourself?
Très bien. What's going on? I've never known Hastings to be so disagreeable.
Hastings, are you alright?
Are you collecting the post, Poirot?
Poor Mr. Poirot. I'm quite sorry for you. If at first you don't succeed, try again. We've a long way to go still. Typery? No, that comes later. Letter T. The next little incident will take place in Doncaster on September 11th. So long, ABC. I should compare this letter with the one on my desk which I received earlier to see if it does indeed come from the same person.
The thumbnails that illustrate progress in the inquiry. To consult your progress, go back to main menu and access the timeline.
It is not the right time.
Thinking.
Let us examine this more closely.
Eyes are the same.
Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, this I is weird.
And then W.
The W is not printed properly. However, the characters in the two words do not match. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, this I is weird. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defect. I have to find some other...
And then...
Yes, That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Hastings, he strikes tomorrow. Chief Inspector Japp?
He's on another line. Can I take a message?
Yes, please, mademoiselle. It is from Hercule Poirot. Tell him ABC strikes tomorrow in Doncaster. He must call me back.
Very well, sir.
Bien, now I'm going to see what I can find from these burnt documents. I've received the product I need. Hastings, if you do not mind, I would like you to take a few notes.
Yes, yes.
Decipher the burnt documents.
I've finished with this subject.
So, how are you getting on? I'm ready to take notes.
Good boy.
Now, down to work. All of this needs putting in order a little. Does not look too difficult.
No, it's not. Yeah. Goes here. Yeah. Here. Maybe.
This
Yeah.
page is Child's Play. This page is finished. That's done. 3 more to... This piece should be placed here.
Then yeah. There.
This page is finished.
Finished.
And that's 2 done. It's easier than I thought. This page is Child's Play.
This goes here.
This page will be reconstructed in a flash.
Yeah. And this here.
This page is finished. Only 1 more. Keep going.
Are you talking to me or to yourself? Just asking. Okay. This goes here then. There. And here.
This page is finished. All the pages are reconstructed.
There.
The cloth is now soaked with solvent. Got it! Make a note, Hastings, make a note. Mrs. Alice Asher, shop owner in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, prescribed laudanum.
I got it. Look. Poirot, where on earth did you find these files?
On a fire at the bottom of the garden at campsite.
All right, but where did the person who burned them find them?
Alice Asher, shopkeeper in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, chronic cough with loss of blood. Prescribed laudanum-based cough medicine. Betty Barnard, waitress in Bexhill. Chronic bronchitis causing dysphonia. Advised to stop smoking. Alexander Bonaparte Cust. While wounded, mustard gas and head trauma, pulmonary emphysema, hemoptysis, coughing fits with blood, suffers from absences and amnesia. Dick Dudley Dunbar, owner of the Black Swan Hotel in Doncaster, asthmatic, heart disease, heart condition. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Now we know the next victim. Where did the burn document come from? Documents come from Dr. Clark's patient records.
The burned documents are medical records, and without a doubt they come from Clark's archives. First of all, because all the patients have throat conditions. And secondly, their name starts with either A, B, C, or D, and it is precisely the files that match these letters that have been tampered with.
But why burn these files? How come the names of the two victims appear on them? And who are the two other patients?
These are very good questions.
Oh yeah, the doctor was the
I've finished
third.
with this subject.
Doctor was the third victim. So why doctor was killed? And not the patient? Or did we ever find the body?
Hello, Poirot?
Any news, Chief Inspector?
You wanted a stocking seller? We have one. Reported by his landlady who thought he was behaving suspiciously. He has the most unbelievable name.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust.
Yes, Alexander Bonaparte Cust? How did you guess? Poirot, you have magical powers. It's a serious lead. I called Doncaster. A person matching Cust's description has been seen at the station. He got off the train from London, but after that, nobody knows where he went.
I am idiot. Indicate the Black Swan Hotel in Doncaster.
Look for him at the Black Swan Hotel.
What? How do you know he's there?
Trust me, Chief Inspector.
You appear to be very sure of yourself. Very well. I'll call the Black Swan straight away. The owner is going to get a shock when he learns that there's a murderer under his roof.
Do your best, Jap.
You can count on me.
Hastings, everything is at stake. With a little luck, our main suspect will soon be under lock and key. So, has Cust been arrested?
Yes, the Doncaster police are sending him by train.
That is good news. But why so gloomy, Chief Inspector?
Well, when I told the hotel owner that he was sheltering a murderer, he collapsed.
He's dead?
No, fortunately, but it has taken its toll on him. It has to be said that with his name starting with the letter D, he had every reason to fear Cust. I bet he was going to be the next victim.
Chief Inspector, I believe that I share responsibility for this incident.
What do you mean?
I saw Mr. Dunbar's medical records. His heart was weak. I should have warned you.
It's very honest of you to tell me that, Poirot. I appreciate your gesture.
Please keep me informed of his progress.
You can count on me. I'll do what's needed.
I will visit him at his bedside when the killer is caught.
That's typical of you, Poirot. We should focus on the next part of the investigation in order to avoid other incidents. While we're waiting to question Cust, we could search his room in London.
Where does he live?
The Marbury Guest House?
I'll see you there.
Yes, but start without me. First of all, I have to sort out a few details for Cust's transfer.
I understand. À bientôt. Hastings, we are making good progress. Please go and search the room of our #1 suspect.
With pleasure. I did have a dentist appointment, but I'll cancel.
The dentist. So that is why you were so nervous and bad-tempered.
A visit to the dentist is never an enjoyable prospect.
But an unavoidable one. Go to your appointment, Hastings. I will manage on my own.
Poor Hastings.
To Marbury Guest House, please.
That is a very reliable. Got Marbury Guest House. Oh, I am there. Okay. Question Mrs. Marbury. Victim Dick Dunbar, owner of the Black Swan Hotel. He is on the killer's list. He has a heart condition.
I should check the register. Mrs. Marbury may have been hiding something from... It looks like I found the real master of this house.
Oh! Cat. Goes on the stairs. Oh.
There is no need to worry about the household cat. I'm sure that Mrs. Marbury lets it do what it pleases.
Like all the cats.
How do you do? You must be Mr. Hercule Poirot. Chief Inspector Jupp told me that you might be coming.
Why is she peeling potatoes in...
I do not think that this is the right time to be peeling potatoes.
My lodgers have got to eat!
But you are
I understand.
contravening health regulations.
Well, it's not as serious as killing someone. I just wanted to help you. I've suspected him for some time, but he appeared so harmless. Oh yes, sometimes he got angry and waved his arms about. But even then, he wasn't frightening. And he was as gentle as a lamb again immediately afterwards. It was only this morning that I understood. He told me he was going to Cheltenham, but my daughter saw him at Euston Station. It's not the right station. To get to Cheltenham, you have to take the train from Paddington. And what's more, Mr. Cust left behind an ABC with Doncaster underlined. But when I see how I'm being treated, I wonder if I was right.
Well done. You were right. He did go to Doncaster.
So I was right to warn the police.
Tell me, did you have any other reason to suspect Mr. Cust?
Well, he's odd. Sometimes he coughs really loudly and complains that his throat is burning, and sometimes he talks to himself and stares into space. He told me that it was because of a wound he got in the wall. His head hasn't been quite right since, he said. And then he was in Churston when that millionaire got murdered. I found his train ticket when I washed his coat. He didn't want me to wash his shirt. He washed it himself. But I did see big brown stains on it.
Ask where the stains were.
Where were the stains on the shirt?
On the collar and on the buttonholes.
Got used to travel for his work. Is that correct?
Oh, it wasn't for pleasure. He was always on trains. But he had to sell his stockings around England. I have to respect my engagements, he used to say.
Do you know where Cust was at the time of the murder in Andover and Bexhill? On June the 21st and July the 25th?
No, I don't know. That was a while ago, you know.
But surely you keep a register.
It won't do you much good. Mr. Cuss rents his room for the year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it. Ah, I remember one thing. Bexhurst by the sea, right?
Indeed, it is a large seaside resort.
Well, as it happens, at the start of July, Mr. Cast asked me to repair his bathing dress. Suspicious, huh?
Very interesting. Please continue.
I also forgot to say that he started buying newspapers that talked about the case.
Ask when he started buying newspapers.
When did he start buying the newspapers?
Let's see. I think it was just after the millionaire's murder in Churston. He didn't seem all that interested before that.
That will be all for now. I'm going to take a look at his room.
Take the key on the counter. I don't think my register will help you. Mr. Cuss rents his room all year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it.
The truth is becoming apparent, and I have something to say to Mrs. Marbury.
About Miss Marbury. She's Alexander Bonaparte Cust's landlady. She sublets her room to other guests when her usual residents are away. She saw Alexander Bonaparte Cust washing his blood-stained shirt.
This woman appears to be in a good mood.
Movements. Welcoming smile. Relaxed posture.
Mrs. Marbury is in a good mood. She is working very precisely in producing incredibly thin peel.
I understand peeling potatoes you need, and tenants need to eat, but in the reception counter? Are you serious?
Mrs. Marbury, if I am to believe the register, you rented room 306 to a certain Mr. Fishman on the day of the Bexhill murder? Room 306 is Cust's room. Can you explain yourself?
Yes, I remember. Just for one night as a favour. Mr. Cust was away, all my other rooms were taken, and poor Mr. Fishman had nowhere to go.
Indicate that it is illegal.
You rented the same room to two people. Very profitable, but quite illegal.
But I didn't harm anyone. I was only helping everybody out.
Okay, let's go and search the room.
John Milligan, Managing Director, Silky Legs, Frederick Street, Leicester. To A.B. Cust, Marbury's Guest House, 1935, May the 21st. Dear Sir, further to our letters dated 5th and 10th of the month, we confirm we are you as door-to-door salesman, according to the conditions stated in our previous letters. We will send you the articles by mail and also a Redfield typewriter you will be using for every business letter. Regarding the schedule of your rounds, please do as following. June 21, Andover. Arrive by train the 20th in the evening and get a room at Station Hotel. Start your turn in the north part of the town. This letter establishes that Cust went to Andover, but the ink has hidden the destinations of his other trips. I know from Mrs. Marbury that he went to Churston. I just have to show that he went to Bexhill, and I will have proved that he was present at all the crime scenes.
And there's the
It's
ABC
an
card.
ABC.
And I just noticed. Oh, she's not here. He's not here. Okay. But Alexander Bonaparte called Cust. ABC. It took me so long to notice.
A long-bladed knife. A murderer's weapon. This object would probably be useful to... Did Cust drop it when he opened the window? Or was it Mrs. Marbury while she was cleaning? I have to get the ribbon. How am I going to do it? Something is blocking the ribbon. The ribbon is jammed. I have to start by freeing it. The ribbon is jammed. Something is blocking the ribbon.
Here.
The left-hand heel has been removed. The right-hand heel has been removed. Something is blocking the ribbon.
But there's something else. Aha.
And here is the ribbon. Let us see if it was indeed used to write the letters sent by ABC. I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let Jack clean the keyboard if he wishes.
Glory to the hand of man, the equal of his mind. One is nothing without the other, and it is by using both that you were able to solve all of the riddles.
All the letters announcing the murders were written on Cust's typewriter. Cust is parsimonious. He keeps his pencils and sharpens them until there is nothing left. It is clear that he did not grow up in luxury. How awful. This place is a real mess.
Real mess? This is cleaner than my room.
The least we can say that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance.
Oh, blood.
This dark stain. It could be blood, but goodness knows how long it has been there.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Laudanum Cameron's Chemists. Laudanum, a medicine for coughs. It is what Dr. Clark prescribed for Mrs. Asher. This subject would probably be useful to me.
Sedative.
Diethyl barbituric acid, Johnson Company. I know this medicine. It is a powerful sedative. This subject would probably be useful to me. ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders. The Bexhill Daily paper, dated from the day of the Bexhill murder. Trousers, white shirts, everything has been washed very well. Most probably the bathing dress repaired by Mrs. Marbury's expert hands. All the main articles referring to the ABC case are here, from the Churston murder onwards. Nothing before that date.
Is there anything else?
ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders. It's Claude.
Ah, but I have a knife.
This knife is very useful. Who knows? Maybe it never cut anything other than string. Stockings. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Where was Gust at the time of Bexhill murder? Betty had a photo of her and Donald. Key to A.B. Gust's room. The Bexhill lock of paper dating from the day of Betty's murder was found in Gust's room. Gust was probably in Bexhill on the day of the murder.
The register shows that Cust did not sleep at the guest house on the day of the murder. Where was he? Bexhill. The Bexhill paper reveals it. Cust bought this newspaper in Bexhill on July the 25th. No use continuing the inspection of this room. I've seen all there is to see. Goodbye, Mrs. Marbury. Thank you for your help.
Bye.
Ah, Chief Inspector. I was about to leave.
Good evening, Chief Inspector. Welcome. Please excuse me, I must go to the kitchen. I'll leave the key of Mr. Cust on the counter.
I'm sorry I'm late. I've spent ages with the Doncaster police. And you?
I have established one fact. On 3 occasions, Cust was at the scene on the day of the crimes. I had best talk to Jack.
I've listened closely to what you have to say, Poirot. For me, there's no doubt Cust is guilty. Do you have any element that might prove the contrary?
That is what we're going to look for. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
All the letters sent to Poirot come from his typewriter. Cust was in Chester on the day of Sir Clark's murder. That's excellent. Cust was in all the towns. Are there any common point between Cust and the killer? All letters sent to Polo from his typewriter. No, wait. ABC guides. He could have committed these crimes. Suspicious.
The evidence against Cust is overwhelming. His presence at the scenes, the knife, the blood-stained shirt, the ABCs in a box.
C'est vrai. However, the blood Mrs. Marbury saw on Cust's shirt may have been his own. According to his medical records, he suffers from hemoptysis. The murderer cut Sir Carmichael's throat from behind, and the blood spurted outwards. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes, yet we see quite the opposite. You would expect the murderer to keep the newspaper articles about his crimes. But Cust's collection starts in Cheston, as if it discovered the case rather late.
I agree it's troubling, but it doesn't change my mind. There's small details that we should be able to clear up by questioning Cust.
When can you talk to him?
Doncaster is sending him to us on the first train.
Are they questioning him already?
He says he can't remember a thing.
It's plausible. Doctors say he suffers from absences and amnesia. Mrs. Marbury has confirmed this.
He may have done the murders in an altered state.
A familiar situation.
It's not enough to clear his name. Dr. Thompson insisted that even if you don't know what you're doing, you never commit a murder without wanting to.
Très intéressant. I shall remember that.
Right. I'll go and examine the suspect's room.
Chief Inspector, I took the liberty of removing a few clues to Examinator.
All right, we'll discuss them tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to see if you've missed something.
Go to Scotland Yard.
Marbury. There is a very pretty village by this name, in Cheshire. To Scotland Yard, please.
Finish Marbury Guest House. First we need to inspect.
This man is not in good shape.
Covered eyes. Taken hands. Columbus jacket.
He is worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him. I am not going to leave before having finished questioning.
What do you want from me?
Present yourself.
Good day, Mr. Cust. I am Hercule Poirot.
Ah, you're the detective.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters to.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
Très bien. You did not hide these letters. But the question remains, who did?
Probably one of my enemies. I have many.
Accuse him of being a killer. Admit that you do not believe he is a murderer.
I do not believe that you are capable of murder, Mr. Cust.
I hope not.
You suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But the army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions. Just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
Professor Clark treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
Of course, you never considered killing a doctor who took such good care of you.
No, never.
Ask him if he acknowledges going to the 3 towns.
Do you deny being at the scene of the crimes?
So? There was no harm in being there. It was only for my work.
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot, but not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
Let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards.
It clues that you wrote them, so it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
I don't remember. Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
It's nice to confide in Uncle Poirot, and that is why you conducted all of the interrogations to perfection.
I am not going to leave before having finished. He is prey to a terrible anxiety. Is it remorse? Or simply the pressure of the questioning and the train journey? He is in no state to reply.
Ashley, hello. How are you doing? And welcome to Agatha Christie's ABC Murders. But how are you doing? Question cast.
He is prey to a terrible anxiety.
Yes, they are, because it means I have to use my big clay brain cells, or the one brain cells I have, or the half of the brain cell I have.
He is in no state to reply. I know this medicine. It is a powerful sedative. Laudanum, a medicine for coughs. It is what Dr. Clark prescribed for Mrs. Asher.
Maybe sedative.
Take this. It will help you.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed these murders?
Yes, I know.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you committed them.
No, I don't.
Let us leave Cust alone. He's at the end of his tether.
Okay.
And what conclusions have you drawn?
Plenty. It might help us to understand him a little better. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Oh no, my half of a brain cell. What do we know about Cust's health? He prints up blood when he coughs. He says that he did not write the letters. He has problem with his throat. He would expect the murder to keep news. No, he suffers from absences. Gust is mentally and physically weak, not really the profile of our killer. There has been couple of I don't know why. This game is very simple. But there have been couple of puzzles that I have been stuck too long. Are there any clues that do not support Gus' guilt in the certain murder? You got expected to murder keeping but collection starting Churston, as if you heard about the slate. But how are you doing, Ashley? Hopefully you are doing well. Do not support Gus' guilt in certain murder. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes. Not buttholes, buttonholes. It's a Friday weekend, so you're trying to enjoy it despite the killing heat. Oh no, the killing heat. What is it that suddenly we have a cool air? Cool weather. Not cool as cold, but not heat. And then suddenly you have heat. Coincidence? I think not. It's 7:23 and it's still 34 degrees outside. I would actually be suffering in that case. Yikes. Are there any clues that do not support Gus' guilt? I think it is because I live basically in the north. That I can't even imagine over 30 degrees. To me, basically, 25 is too much. Guilt. There are several details which show that Gust is not guilty. And the humidity, oh. And Tokyo even makes it worse. Shadow thought that Gust is guilty. Not guilty.
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cust admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cust killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then he confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters. Then, with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady.
Because deep down he believes himself guilty. From the papers, he noticed that he had always been at the scene of the crimes. He must think that he killed and then simply forgot what he had done.
How can you be so sure?
Let us look at his psychological profile. You will understand my point of view. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
My brain cells. Is Gust clever? Indeed, let us look up at, if you please, you will see that murder carried it out to perfection. Gust is he keeps his pens and sharpens them until there is nothing left. It is clear that he did not grow up in luxury. He was very hesitant and shy. Usually door-to-door salesmen are very confident, but he wasn't. Ooh, this is a very small text. I suspected him for some time, but he appeared too harmless, so harmless. Oh yes, sometimes he got angry and waved his arms about, but even then, he wasn't frightening, and he was on gentle and alarm again immediately afterwards. It was only this morning that I understood. As a dark suit and a dark suit and a felt hat. Not the sort of man you noticed. Completely harmless. That's why I forgot all about him. Mediocre. Is Scott sure of himself? Easy to influence. Is Scott a seducer? Oh, I have to continue this. Without any charm. Oh no, I feel attacked. Does Gust like trains? No. Is Gust impulsive? Cold. Is Gust generous?
You see? Cuss' character is quite the opposite of the murderer's.
But if he's a madman, can we really talk about his character?
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual repetition in the choice of victims.
Very well, you're right as always. So we have no confession, no culprit, no suspects, nothing. And all that after 2 months of inquiry? What should I do?
Have faith. Just give me 24 hours.
If there wasn't subtitles, does the accent make it hard for you to understand them? Poirot, a little bit, yeah. I think others are speaking understandable English, but sometimes Poirot is a little bit hard to understand. I think it's also that how fast he speaks. Go to home. Känner på en podcast. Yes, he is meant to be Belgian, yes.
To White Heaven, please.
Cust's arrest is a great success for you, Poirot. It's all clear now, except maybe 1 or 2 details.
Details. Ah, mon ami. The devil is in the detail, as we say.
Excuse me?
Patience, Hastings. Everything will be clear once our guests arrive. Best be prepared. Slip a revolver into your pocket before they do.
A revolver? But Poirot, what are you afraid of?
Trust me. It is important you carry a weapon for this meeting. I will lend you mine.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait 1 moment, I will bring you my weapon.
In the revolver to Hastings. Oh, but first. Miller. This is important. Three eco points.
Hastings' photo album. He is very proud of his bag.
And playing this game wants me to read Hercule Poirot for some reason.
Churston, Devon, population 500 inhabitants. Hourly of trains. London, Churston. Trains of evening. London, 6:45 p.m. Newton about 11 a.m. Churston, 11:45 a.m. London, 11:45 p.m. Newton about 6:08 a.m. Churston, 7:15 a.m.
Okay, where is the revolver then?
Daily Flicker, September the 11th, 1935. ABC affair, Terminus Doncaster. Japp and Poirot arrest the killer. A.B. Cust is the name of the alphabet murderer. The police have arrested him in a hotel in Doncaster. He was preparing to kill his fourth victim, Mr. Dick Dudley Dunbar, the establishment's manager. Mr. Dunbar owes his life to the miraculous intervention of Inspector Chap of Scotland Yard and Detective Hercule Poirot.
There very recently come out 3 movies based on Poirot, played by Kenneth Branagh and directed by him. Murder at the Orient Express, I know that one. Death on the Nile, I think I have seen at least a trailer, and Haunting in Venice. That I don't remember. But you think they are very good. I have to check them out. I have the Murder on the Orient Express as a book. And then was other one the Death on the Nile. And then I have the where there was a floating ghost mask. Then I don't remember what other novels I have. I heard the same thing, that Murder on Orient Express is the weakest. But
The Lancet, September 11th, 1935.
but it's
General
also,
Medical
I think,
Journal.
one of the
The
classics.
alphabet murderer is not psychotic, according to Professor Thompson. In an early issue, we claimed that the alphabet murderer was not psychotic. Our assertion has just been confirmed by Professor Thompson, a Scotland Yard expert, who has spoken to the prisoner at great length. Not all obsessional killers are psychotic, he explained. It is true that Kirst has a disturbed personality and memory disorders. But his amnesia, whether real or pretended, does not alter the fact that he was perfectly lucid at the time of his acts. Therefore, he will not escape punishment.
Fan. I have a fan.
Ah, some cool hair.
Haunting in Venice is the least based on the books and probably the best mysteries. I really have to look the new ones. But the TV show that has this kind of Poirot is my personal favorite. There was a time that we, with my mom, we always like to watch murder mysteries like Hercule Poirot, Sherlock Holmes, Murder She Wrote, Shakespeare and Hathaway, what else? Murder in Paradise, and so on. So I have a soft spot for these kind of murder mysteries, or not murder mysteries per se, but murder is always.
It is not the right time.
The centerpiece. You do not recommend a nice out or glass onion.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait one moment, I will bring you my weapon.
But where is the weapon? Here? Oh.
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets.
Oh no! Oh no! Unsurprisingly, they're the same director and writer as Last Jedi, which is perhaps the most hated Star Wars movie. Yes. I am actually
I have to choose
thinking
the type of bullets to load.
thinking of when I have time. Of course, I have to make time, but I am wanting to watch all of the Skywalker saga from episode 1 to episode 9 in chronological order. Because it has been very long time that I have seen them. Even the prequel trilogy. Okay. Do we take blanks or actual bullets? Lives are at stake. Blanks, okay.
The revolver is loaded with blanks. I still have time to choose real bullets.
Yeah.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait one moment, I will bring you my weapon.
Yes, Rogue One. Yes, I am Hakin. Hastings. I am Hakin. Hastings deserves more love. He just tries his best. But yes, Rogue One. I loved it. And then Solo. I have only watched it once. But I remember thinking that it was okay. One thing I am expecting is, or wanting, that they start to do stories that, let's say, I think good ideas are probably the upcoming Skeleton Crew, and then I don't know what the Skeleton Crew will be all about, but you know, different kind of stories, because that's why I love Star Wars as a franchise, because there is so many opportunities that tell different kind of story. It can be a western, it can be a like Mandalorian, that it can be about a bounty hunter that goes on jobs and then something happens and he has to choose between good and bad, and then sometimes he just have to choose the lesser evil, kind of like Witcher. Or then it can be like political drama, if written good. It can be a war story, because Star Wars, you know, war is in the name. I haven't seen the trailer yet. But I am always I am open-minded, and even if something, let's say I'm not expecting masterpieces. Because the thing is, sadly, Star Wars is one of those things that there is so much negativity about anything that comes out of certain. Andor is on the list. I think I have watched a couple episodes, but then I dropped it. You know, people always misunderstood me when I say I dropped it or I didn't get into it or something. I don't mean I hated it or anything. It just means that, for example, something happened, I got distracted, or I wasn't mentally there. I think Andor was at the time when I was mentally a little bit of a dark place, so I didn't find much of. I wasn't able to focus on the show. But the point I am trying to make is that Skeleton Crew, even if it gets bad reviews, people think it's bad or say, like you said, that it's for kids. It's meant to be a kid show. I can still watch it and say, it wasn't that bad. It was okay. Because not everything I watch or play doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I can just enjoy it while I play or watch it, and then probably forget it.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role.
Oh yeah, you need the gun.
Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used. It is almost new.
Can I watch what? No. Never mind.
Chief Inspector, is that you?
Yes. Sorry, but we haven't found anything.
Have you checked the typewriter?
And the packaging, the letter, and the ribbon reel. We've only found prints left by Cust and his landlady.
Well, never mind. I shall make do.
So, are you still going to hold your meeting?
Of course, Chief Inspector. I can hear my guest coming up the stairs.
Why have you brought us here, Mr. Poirot?
Since Cust's arrest, I thought it was all done and dusted. Miss Gray formally identified him, as well as Miss Barnard.
Yes, and the stockings he saw drove the same brand as the ones found at my aunt's.
This is all true. However, a case is not closed if some questions remain open. And one question is, why did the murderer send me his letters? Why did he challenge me, Hercule Poirot?
Perhaps he wanted to play with you, to taunt you.
Xenophobia? Maybe he didn't like you because you're foreign.
I may be wrong, but maybe by provoking you he was looking for glory?
All these theories should be studied. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
No. I didn't assume you were insulting it, but I just said that if it's a kid show and it's a very simple storytelling and doesn't... It's very hard to describe or say the words. Why did the murderer make a mistake in the address? Paul's address is not very well known. Yes, these kind of games, you can make guesses and say what you think. That's fine. I always loved that, making assumptions. These kind of games are always fun if you play with someone. Especially if I am stuck. And my brain cells are not good as spoilers. I know the story and the mystery, but I don't remember the culprit or any specific. But I think I only know or remember about this particular case is the premise that murderer killed people in alphabetical order. Why did the murderer make a mistake in the address? A little late. Yeah, backseating is if, for example, if you have either read the novel or saw the episode of the TV show and you know all the clues and who did it, and then you tell me immediately then it's backseating and no thank you. But otherwise I always like in these kind of that help, my brain is not working. Yeah, the puzzles are then totally different thing. The middle chance follow because you have an inferior complex. No. I think it's not that. The body is still warm. Piece of envelope with the wrong address. The letters let arrival save the murderer. Error in the address. Let's take it top. Let's try that then. Error in the address, so this one. And it arrived late. And then the last one. Because yeah, I think the letter came on the same day that the murder had to happen. Or was happening. Port address is not very well known. I think this is part of it. Because we got I think this is part of it because Poirot's address is not known or very well known, but the murderer still sent one letter before the first murder, and it arrived on time. Yeah. Murder always warned Poirot about his murders. And the address. Okay, this is what you meant. And it arrived late. Nope. The mistake is intentional. Why did the killer send his letters to Hercule Poirot? No. Glory, no. Inferiority complex? No. Xenophobia? So this one. Is your envelope with wrong address? He wrote to Poirot because his address is not very well known.
Is everything clear now?
You might like to explain your reasoning again.
Of course. First of all, remember that the murderer made it a
everyone
rule to
keeps
always post his letter before the
saying
murder. He never digressed from that rule.
in
However,
the
in
show
Churton,
and
he
books
encountered a
that
problem. The village has only 500 inhabitants.
Heiko Poirot
With
is
advance warning,
French.
it would be easy to arrest
So,
him.
there is
Therefore,
something.
the murderer delayed his letters deliberately with the wrong address. The plan wouldn't have worked if he'd sent it to Scotland Yard or the papers because everybody knows their addresses. The mistake would have been corrected and the letter would have been on time. That is why the murderer chose me as the recipient.
Because for his plan to succeed, it was necessary for at least one of the letters to have a wrong address and get lost. It was very cunning.
Absolument. It is a very subtle plan. It matches the profile we have drawn up of him perfectly. That of an intelligent, daring and calculating murderer.
But that's not how you describe Cust.
You are quite right, mademoiselle. Like you, I find it hard to believe that this dull character is the clever murderer we are looking for.
Do madmen... I mean, if he's mad, he might have two very different sides.
No doubt. But the murderer is not mad. All the specialists agree that he does not have the profile of the psychopath.
But if Cust is not guilty, how do you explain his presence at the scene of the crimes?
Mr. Clark, the answer to your question is in the medical records of your brother's patients. Documents which Cust most certainly did not have access to. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
You don't really know any country which dislikes Belgium. Maybe only cause they're in NATO. When was NATO formed? What do we know about Cust? Cust is easily influenced. Cust has... Cust wins the war and has never been quite the same in the head sense. The war. No. (1949). Yeah, I was thinking that all the modern, like UN, NATO and so forth, I think most of them are formed after World War II. Most of them at least. Cust is mentally fragile and easy to manipulate. How to explain Cust's presence at the crime scenes? Cust was a door-to-door salesman. So it's not this one. Cust present at the crime scenes. Cust tries to overcome his damage sickness? No. Cust buys newspapers that report on the case. He wanted to see the crime scenes. But that happened after C. No. It is a coincidence that he went to the victim's house. No, it's not. He is not guilty. He is not the murderer. But it's not coincidence. He was sent there. No. But let's try it anyway. I think I tried it with everything. There. Gust was manipulated. There. He was made to go
Dr.
into
Clark's
those
patient's
towns.
records provided a very useful list of potential victims, sorted by alphabetical order. The killer definitely used it, explaining the fact that all the victims were former patients of the doctor. It is this fact that clears Cust once and for all, because he never had access to these records. So how did he happen to be at the scene of the crimes? Either the murderer sent him there, or Cust was following him closely. Cust's highly suggestible nature leads us to the second hypothesis. The murderer was manipulating him. He systematically sent Cust to the towns where he was going to strike, so that the suspicion would land on the poor man's shoulder.
That's evil. What sort of killer could have such a plan? And what would he gain from 3 completely different murders?
Indeed, it seems unlikely that the same murderer committed all the crimes. What should we take from that?
Donald looked very suspicious on that one frame. Say that just one murder is of interest to the killer. Say that the murderer kills for pleasure. Say that the killer has developed a taste for murder. Say that there are 3 murderers. Say that just one murder is of interest to the killer.
Just one murder was of benefit to the murderer. The others were just diversions. On reflection, there is only one conclusion. The murderer killed once out of interest, and twice to divert our attention. This reasoning points at 2 potential culprits.
Franklin Clark.
Donald Fraser?
Yes, mademoiselle, that's good thinking. Mr. Fraser may have killed Betty out of jealousy. Mr. Clark may have killed his brother in order to inherit his large fortune. Both have a motive.
But Donald did not have access to Dr. Clark's records.
Please allow me to disagree with you, mademoiselle.
Indicate that Donald was treated by Dr. Clark. Indicate that Donald was resting at Thurston. Indicate that Donald's firm worked for Clark. It's not the first one. Donald's firm worked for Clark.
He works for Court and Brunskill, one of whose clients was Sir Carmichael.
It doesn't prove that I went to Comeside.
You could have done it, and you may have used the opportunity to take a look at Sir Carmichael's records.
You think I'm guilty?
You or Mr. Franklin Clark.
That's ridiculous.
Both of you have a motive. The question is, which of you has the profile that most resembles the murderer? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Donald clever? Mr. Paulson's petty state, I have thoughts about myself. I don't know what to do and I keep having a horrible dream. Is do not serve himself. Easy to influence. Is Donald a seducer? Does Donald like trains? Is Donald impulsive? Quick-tempered. Generous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald may share many character traits with the murderer, but he does not have his cold indifference. He has a temper. It is hard to imagine him planning anything. Also, jealousy is his motive, and crimes of passion are rarely planned.
Right, I suppose it's my turn to be subjected to the same scrutiny.
Absolument, Mr. Clark. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Speaking of trains, yes, we have a nationwide train service. It's called VR, or in Finnish, valtion rautatiet. What is it in English? Would that be Nation Railway? Maybe. But yeah, we have it has been talk that they have basically a monopoly for the whole railway system. But that's another thing. But yes, we have a nationwide railway service. We have trains that I can basically go to a train, and if I have a let's say kind of like bus ticket, or no, not bus ticket, a bus pass kind of, then I can just jump into the train and it takes me to next town over. And then we have routes that I have to buy a ticket to go to the certain part of Finland or certain station. what I understand, it is kind of similar to Japan. So, is Franklin clever? Her sweet-talking charms. Help. Dear Franklin, first, I wish you could start a successful new year. I have received your letter and letter dated December 10th. Thanks for defending my interest against Van, this robber. Things could have gotten pretty bad if you weren't a real cool-blooded guy. I envy you for that. Can I get trained to Sweden? We basically have to go through Norway. Yep, there is no train, I believe, at least to my knowledge. Everything that how we get to Sweden is through boats or ships. I think there is, I believe, help from Oulu, Turku and Helsinki. I think those are the main cities that you can go to Sweden with a boat. And if it's a cruiser ship, then it usually takes 1 day. Like the ship leaves 5 p.m. Yeah, 5 p.m. And then it arrives around 9 or 10. Have you ever been to Stockholm? I have, but I was very small. Well, not very small, but as a kid we went to Sweden, yes. A couple of times we have been in what is the name? We have been on a cruise that it goes to Sweden. Then it stops on Stockholm, and then it starts the return trip to Helsinki. But that's the thing, I don't remember anything about my visit in Sweden. But I have been there a couple of times. But like I said, I was very little bit small when that happened. Self-confident. Oh, you used Finnair. The only Scandinavian... No. Ashley, no. Never say that out loud. Basically, Scandinavian is Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Finland is left out. Finland sadly is not part of Scandinavian for some reason. Don't ask me. I have no idea. Does Franklin like trains? Yeah, that is weird. It's like there is Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and then Finland is doing its own thing. Is Franklin impulsive? Is Franklin generous?
As you have all seen, there is a disturbing similarity between Mr. Clark's profile and that of the killer. In actual fact, it is exactly the same.
Mr. Poirot, your psychological studies are interesting, but your conclusions do not add up. Why would I have wished my brother's death? The inheritance is lawfully mine. I just have to wait.
No, you had to act quickly.
Peter Tolakay bothered him. Yeah, if Tolakay would have married Carmichael, Franklin couldn't get the inheritance. It would have gone to his wife instead. Yeah, I don't know what the thing is, but I myself always counted as Finland part of the Scandinavian, and I was always weird when Scandinavian and then it shows the 4 countries. Oh, I am playing in Finland, nice, and then it goes to Sweden. What the hell? You just found out by Wikipedia, Scandinavia to English speakers does include Finland, but not to people in those countries. So it's like it's like there is bunch of Star Wars movies, and then all are named Star Wars, but then there is one movie that is very different from the rest, and then even if general public think it as a Star Wars movie, but if you ask about the fans, they say it's not a Star Wars movie. Basically same thing. To the general public, Finland is part of Scandinavian, but if you ask anybody in the Scandinavian, they say Finland is not part of it. Tolakay bothered him.
Because of Miss Grey. Mademoiselle, although you haven't been telling the truth, there is no doubt in my mind that you would have found a way to marry Sir Carmichael after Lady Clark's death. For you, Mr. Clark, it was a disaster. If Miss Grey had children by your brother, you would not have inherited a thing. You realized the danger after reading several letters from Comside, especially one in which your brother opened his heart to you. So you hurried home from China, and you took action. In truth, Cust was no more than a puppet manipulated by the real culprit. You, Mr. Clark.
Such an imagination, Mr. Poirot. In fact, nobody manipulated Cust. The famous instructions he received by post. He wrote them on the typewriter. We know that for sure.
Oh no, you know perfectly well that is not true. Eh bien voilà, light has now been shed on the ABC murders.
Your theories are ingenious, but you haven't any proof.
One point to him. For the moment, I have no material proof. Either I admit to it, or I bluff.
Imperial Masters unmasks the murderer. Ooh, invent an item of proof found in Asher's tobacco shop. Lie about the fingerprints found on Gust's typewriter. Say that proof is going to be easy to find.
One thing proves it. The prints you left on Cust's typewriter.
Enough.
Oh, of course you wiped the typewriter before sending it. But not carefully enough. Scotland Yard has found your print along with those of Cust.
I understand why you never wanted to lend me your new typewriter, and why you were searching through your brother's things. And the hole you dug on the moors. What did you hide there? The knife you used to kill your brother?
Game, set, match. You win, Mr. Poirot. But it was worth trying. Don't come near me! I'll never let you take me, Mr. Poirot!
I'm sorry, Mr. Clark, there is no easy death for you. I expected your reaction, so I used blanks. I'm sorry, mademoiselle, but your second chance has been lost. Franklin Clark will never inherit his brother's fortune.
Disappointed at having missed the chance to become Lady Clark, Thora Grey left England. Donald Fraser and Megan Barnard married. On Poirot's recommendation, Mary Drower started to work for Lady Clark. The elderly lady's condition suddenly took a turn for the better. And a few months later, to Dr. Logan's great surprise, she was back on her feet again. According to this eminent physician, it appears to be an extremely rare case of spontaneous remission. Lady Clark has enjoyed very good health ever since. Journal of an Innocent, the incredible story of ABC. As for A.B. Cust, after being advised by Poirot, he made a great deal of money by selling his story to the press. And as for me, and with business booming, the Black Swan has become the #1 tourist attraction in the whole of Yorkshire, even more popular than York Minster.
And we solved the case of ABC. You had no idea we were so close to the end. Yes, I have played this for whole weekend. So, if I have to make educated guess, probably 9 hours. 9 hours is good estimate. But I think you can say 8 hours if you actually are good with the puzzles. But yeah, now I am thinking, should I check something else? Or should I just stop here? Because Sunday is a little weird. Yes, I am actually thinking, what should I... Because I am thinking, if I play something, probably 1 hour or 2. So I should actually check what I have installed. I can play couple hours of Demon Souls. Sadly, no. The thing is, I have been with a very bad decision I have been making. My PC that had Megapony installed, I can't play it. But good idea other way. Well, maybe. I will look into it.